Well, good day, eh? This is a supporting video that goes along on a blog post called "How Much Weight Can a Motorcycle Carry?"
That's quite a good question because it takes a little to find out and a little bit of messing around to figure out how much weight you're actually putting on the bike. Because you can load it up and look at it, but I don't know any practical way to measure the weight of a bike unless you got lifts, truck scales or weigh scales somewhere around your house, and they'll let you ride on there, before and after. But not many people have that luxury. So what you got to do is get to something called your gross vehicle weight, which the manufacturer puts out, and that's a fully loaded machine. The bike itself, the rider, and any doodads you put on it. You start with either the gross vehicle weight sticker, which is on the bike somewhere. Yeah, get your owner's manual out. It's not necessarily in the service manual, although you can probably find the weight of the bike, manufacturer's weight, but you got to watch, is it dry or wet? So we'll go through that. And then everything you add to the bike contributes to that upper limit of the gross vehicle weight. So that's the passenger, yourself, all your chrome doodads on there, all your clothes, all the stuff you got in the saddlebags.
So the first stop is your owner's manual. And Honda's done the calculation for you. They call it the load capacity. So here you go right there. 390 pounds. Okay, if you can't read the capacity in your owner's manual, you'll have to do some simple calculations. You're going to have to just look some stuff up, a couple numbers, just simple arithmetic. And here's an example table of sample bikes that I've done previous lookups on. This is on the blog post, a little more details for people who like stuff written down. But for example, here's your 2018 Goldwing. Curb weight, like I mentioned, that's a wet weight, ready to go, gas and oiled. And the gross vehicle weight, and they throw an R in the end for just rating. So gross vehicle weight is there, and you minus this from that, and you get your capacity right there. So now we have the total weight that the bike can carry. Time to do a little fine tuning and check out the manufacturer's recommendation of loading. Here's a label inside the saddlebag, so we can see here it's 20 pounds per travel trunk and 20 pounds per saddlebag, so a total of 60. And I'm telling you, if you take the top trunk off, the beer box, travel box, whatever you call it, the rear high mounted box, it's 20 pounds still, so 60 pounds total. And it's not shown here, but in the owner's manual it's 5 pounds per fairing pocket, so you got a little space up there too. A bunch of other warnings that you can read and should pay attention to. So that's you take your in this case 390, and let's say you load this out to the max. You got 20 20 20, 60 pounds, and then you got another 5 in the the pockets. You get 70. So from 390 you got 320 pounds for the remaining rider and cargo and or passenger.
Okay, so here's a little experiment I'm trying out. Got the saddlebag off the Goldwing, got it inside here, and put it on the digital scale down there at the bottom, you can see, and that's pretty accurate scale. So I loaded it right full with clothes and cotton and stuff like that, and threw in a paperback and a thing of deodorant. It's got a 20-pound carrying limit according to the owner's manual and the sticker inside, which you can see here, right there. Do not exceed. So I think I can safely conclude that you're not going to overload the saddlebag in this case, with because it's only reading at 13.5 pounds right there. So that stuff jammed in there pretty good. Let's see here. Trade secrets. So there you go. I got a book, deodorant. That's packed in there pretty good. There's some room in here, I guess you could put some socks on the top and then shut the lid real carefully and quick. But a little bit of room on the top there, but not enough to put it over the 20-pound limit. So that's a good guide to start with. You got well within the bounds. Just close. Okay, so here's experiment number 2. I loaded that saddlebag up with riding gear. I got a couple leather jackets in there, riding gloves, and a rain suit. And we're not doing too bad here. 11.4, call it half pound. We're still a ways away, and that thing's pretty loaded. I could squeeze a few more things in there, but It's pretty surprising how the 20-pound limit is hard to get to. Just for fun, I was loading up with tin cans and stuff, and I was surprised I got up to 19 pounds, and yeah, it wasn't full of tin cans, but still, it was surprising. So let's see, if you want to get to the limit, yeah, let's throw in a laptop and power supply. You know, it's a modern day. People bring that crap along. 15, not bad. It's a small laptop, not huge. Throw in some, it's called shampoo, although it's, you know, it's not really shampoo. You wouldn't want to be using that. Then, what do we got there? 15.8. And then let's say you got a bike that burns oil or whatever. You bring in a bottle of whiskey. There's a jug of Mother's. No, it's not Mother's, it's Marvel. A jug of Marvel oil. And we're at 17.8. So, yeah, those saddlebags take a bit of work to overload those, but like I say, get the weight down low and balance saddlebag to saddlebag, and the top tank bag or beer box, whatever you want to call it, on the back. Save that for clothes, and there'll be no problem at all. So, you know, other than the volume space you got, it's not a bad deal. You got to weigh yourself and your passenger. That's going to be a big part of that weight from the bike weight that you're adding to get to the gross vehicle weight. So I think that's the major component, especially for people who you know, like to indulge. You could max it out just with 2 people. Well, here you go. Here's another shot at the scale. I threw on some crash bars and engine guards, whatever you call them, and a couple of floorboards for the that mount to the engine guards. So that totals a grand total of 12.6 pounds. So there you go. There's another. If you've added that to your bike, and you know, you got to add that in. That's your base weight. It's eating away at your load carrying capacity because you're carrying that load anyway. So things to consider. If you got a bike and you've added hard luggage to it, you got to account for that too. That's part of the base weight before you put anything in the bags. Windshield, anything you add on. Okay, so here's another couple pages out of the owner's manual that relate directly to what we're talking about and loading your bike and having it weighted up. So they're calling it up vehicle capacity load, and they're saying when you're above 200 pounds, increase the back tire pressure to 40 psi. So good to know. Not exactly something you just do instinctively, but it's all good. And here's another page on related to loading. So they're saying from 60 miles an hour, they've tested it, and a light load, whatever that means, you stop in 170 feet, and then you're fully loaded, you're 180 feet. I'd give it a lot more distance than that, a lot more leeway. 10 feet doesn't seem like a big difference to me. It's maybe a bike length and a half. You get some wear and tear on the brake pads and you know, system, and little water, moisture, you're gonna probably take a little longer. So what I'd recommend is get out there with a fully loaded bike, if you're not experienced, that is. Load her up to the max and leave the passenger off for now, and just get a real good feel for it, how stopping and braking, cornering, and then when you come up to stoplights, you know, you're gonna put your feet down more deliberately and look for a landing spot that's flat. It's not going to cause you problems. Like, don't pull up beside a pothole and go over because you can't reach the ground, or you lose your footing, that kind of thing. Then throw a passenger on the back and you know, take that extra weight and get used to that. So it's all a matter of experience and you know, just taking it easy and learning as you go. And hope that helps. Wrap it up, and yeah. So take care, and we'll talk to you soon.